In today's video, we're going to be going over 7 cold weather fragrances I've got to have in my collection at all times. So if I ever run through a bottle or get close to, I'm going to be picking it up again. I like having these on hand because they're ones that I actually utilize and I actually wear with some sort of frequency. I really do go through these as much as I can when I'm able to in the cooler months. Because as you guys know, and most of you can probably relate, we're always kind of testing new things. Something new comes out, we want to try it, we want to test it out. Or maybe it's just we buy something that has been out, but it's new to us, and we're trying to test that and figure out kind of what we like about it and dislike as well. So sometimes it can be a challenge to make sure you're revisiting the things that you like to wear that you've had for a while. And these are the type of scents that fall in that category for me. So like always, I'm going to put links to everything that I talk about today in the video description. Now, FragranceNet, 40% off. You can hit that link down below the first link and apply that code. I've said this before, but they only run that code for about a month and a half to 2 months every year. That's it. So from now pretty much to the end of the year, you can have that 40% off and then they're going to take it away. Hit that link, it automatically applies the code. Do your shopping. That 3% savings there adds up a lot. We're going to start off with Le Male Les Parfums by Jean Paul Gaultier. When I was doing this video, when I was planning it, and I threw this one in, I was thinking, oh, this is kind of a classic. And I was thinking, well, that's not right because it seems like just came out, but that's not the case, I guess. It has been out for a little while now. Not as long as like the original, of course, or even something like Ultra Male. But I guess the point I'm trying to make is things move so fast. All these new flankers coming out, both in this lineup and the Les Beaux lineup, and just JPG in general is pumping out a lot of stuff. It makes this one seem older than it is, I guess. This one has vanilla, a little bit of cardamom, iris, tonka, some of that lavender. So basically, it's taking that original DNA, that lavender kind of vanillic, fresh sweetness, and then they're adding in, again, that cardamom and a little bit of a nice iris accord as well. It's a little bit more mature compared to something like Ultra Male, but still it maintains that somewhat young smelling JPG style here that they're known for. They're definitely not creating fragrances for like formal situations. They kind of keep it pretty playful and pretty casual with their scent releases, and they cater to the younger crowd. And this one still does that at the end of the day, but it does take a step in the more refined direction, at least in my opinion. That's why I like it. That's why I wear it. It's more wearable than something like, for example, Ultra Male, which is a favorite of mine as well. You're a little bit more limited in terms of situations, at least, the way I look at it anyway. Whereas this one, pretty much any situation in fall and winter, aside from maybe something very formal. Other than that, you can pull this one off. It has great performance. The price point now is pretty reasonable. Sometimes it's just under $100 for a 125 ml bottle. So, you really can't beat that, especially these days. This next one is Issey Miyake Nuit d'Issey Parfum. So I've talked about this quite a bit as well, mainly because for the money, which is about $58 right now, it is a fantastic designer release. If it was $100, $120 or something, would I still like it? Of course. Would I still talk about it? Yes. But it's the fact that you can get it for just a hair under $60 right now makes it just, kind of surprising, to be honest with you, because it smells more expensive than what you can pick it up for. Now, this is focused a lot on the leather. So leather, amber, it kind of has somewhat of a sweet, resinous, and smoky smell also. So that kind of helps tie this into being more of a cooler weather scent, as you can imagine. I think we're conditioned to automatically coming to the conclusion that, oh, it's an Issey Miyake. It might be kind of, not that exciting, right? Because Low d'Issey and all of those flankers, there are a few that are really good, but a lot of them are maybe just more of ones that you just pass up. You kind of look at it and think, oh, just another Low d'Issey, and you move on. This, of course, is not a Low d'Issey. It's a completely different lineup, but I think we're conditioned to maybe overlook some of these because they also have a ton of flankers, right? And when you have that incredible amount of volume, you kind of are wondering where to start. But this is a situation where it is worth the attention. It is worth trying out. It is such a remarkable smelling scent for the price. If you like leather, if you like something sweet and kind of smoky and resinous and something with a little bit of a mysterious smell to it, this is the one to go for. Again, just a hair under $60 right now. I'm guessing that this is probably technically discontinued, but I just think that there's enough of it out there right now. The discounters have plenty in stock, and it's going to be around for now, but I don't foresee this being around forever, just because we can look at basically most of the others that have been discontinued, and I'm sure this one is not too far off. This next one comes in at around, I don't know, I think $50 to $60. Gentleman Eau de Parfum Boisé by Givenchy. I love the EDP. I love Reserve Privé. Really like the new Society Ombre as well, right? Pretty much the entire lineup is rock solid. You could find something for anybody and everybody in that line, whether you like something fresher, sweeter, somewhere in between. This is going to be somewhere in between. So not, super fresh, definitely not fresh in general, but it's also not overly sweet either. So again, it's right down the middle here. Has a little bit of a cacao, so kind of a powdery, chocolatey smell. You still do get some iris in here, but it's pretty tame compared to a couple of the others like the EDP and the Reserve Privé. And then, your usual little bit of tonka, a little bit of vanilla, that sort of thing. You get some black pepper thrown in the mix as well, primarily off the open. That's where that's going to come in to give it a little bit of a spicy kick off the start. But that does dissipate, and then you're left with that creamy, kind of sweet, powdery cacao. This does have kind of a dustiness to it, almost like maybe a benzoin as well. And then just some other woods and stuff. Quite a bit of sandalwood in particular. It's a smooth, rich, creamy sandalwood accord. Not something I'd really pick for spring or summer, but it's definitely something I would go for in fall and winter time. It's just, again, it's one that is not too extreme. Maybe you don't want to wear, or you're not in the mood for, an overly sweet scent one day in the wintertime. You want to have something with maybe just a little bit more of a fresh balance. This is going to be it. And again, coming in at such a competitive price point as well. This next one is Tumi Continuum. It always makes me laugh when I see this bottle, 200 ml. Definitely unnecessary completely, but it was a good deal. And honestly, a lot of it was I wanted to see what the 200s look like, because I was just curious, I wanted to see just kind of the ridiculousness of it in person. And it's a big bottle. It's heavy too, really, really heavy. And you still get that metal cap with the locking mechanism, which is super unique. I haven't seen that really anywhere else. That little detail, it's cool. This one has suede, olibanum, and tobacco leaf. Now, I'm not 100% sure what the 200 ml bottle goes for. I can't remember now, but I know that the 100 ml is right around $50, maybe $55. So very much a mid-range priced scent here, a designer scent. And that's awesome because, well, it seems like that is being less and less common. So it's a nice tobacco, but yet it's a wearable tobacco. Think of it as kind of still a step in the more unique direction than Dolce & Gabbana the One. Just kind of throwing that out there because the One is very much a designer level, wearable, versatile tobacco. This is still designer level. It's still wearable, all that good stuff, but it has a little bit more richness, a little bit more depth, and maybe if you could even say a little bit more complexity than Dolce & Gabbana the One. It just, I don't know. To me, maybe is a little bit more unique in that regard. Now, this is coming from a diehard Dolce & Gabbana the One fan, so, that's not me hating on the One, of course. It's just kind of laying it out. That's how this one comes across. You might find that this is a little bit more of an interesting scent, and the wearing experience might be a little bit more of, intriguing for you. Sweet, smoky, but just not too overpowering either. Again, still talking to designer, still talking about something with maximum versatility for the fall and winter months, and also a great performer too. I believe it's an eau de parfum concentration here. Kind of makes you wonder, they've done, it's the distilled of Awaken, and I think maybe another one as well. So that's like their extrait version. I wonder if they're going to do some sort of an extrait for this. I think that would be kind of something that would make sense given it's already sweet. They could take that, they could throw in a little bit of oud or a boozy accord or something and rework it a little bit and make it more of an intense, extrait concentration. I would like to see that. I think it would do pretty well. This next one is Azzaro Wanted by Night. I love the cinnamon in here. It's by far one of the standout notes. Nice, warm, spicy cinnamon kick, and you still get some of that fruitiness off the opening too that the original Wanted is known for. But then it just goes into that warm, spicy cinnamon, tonka bean mixture. Still a sweet scent all the way through. What you're gonna find with this one is that it's a big head turner because of how warm, spicy it is, not only just off the opening, but I mean, even throughout the entire wearing experience into the dry down, it maintains that spicy head turning kick. You're gonna see that this is one that is a big attention grabber for that reason, coupled with the fact that it also has great performance as well. So it's one that actually will project outside of your normal, scent bubble, or outside of your normal personal space to where people are going to be able to smell it. These days, usually around $70 to $80. The price has gone up on it on discounters over the years, but still worth every bit of that, at least to me. This next one here is Guerlain L'Homme Ideal Intense or L'Intense. Now they've changed it. So I believe it used to be L'Intense. This is like an older bottle. Nowadays, I think if you were to buy it, it might be Intense. Although I'm not 100% sure. To the best of my knowledge, they're the same, just a bit of a rename and a rebottle, which is not uncommon. They've actually changed the presentations on these a number of times over the years. Now, this is going to have that signature almond smell that we, of course, know and love within this lineup. What they're doing is they're adding a chili pepper note and a smoke note. So not incense, smoke. And well, both of those make sense. This is a much more spicy and smoky take on just the EDP, the EDT, the Extreme, everything, right? Now this came out before the Extreme, I believe, but you get the idea. It's just none of the other ones really have a smokiness or anything like that, whereas this one does. It's just more of a spicy kick, not only off the opening, but you still get that into the dry down as well. This one might be a little bit more of a head turner in the sense that it jumps out at you a little bit more, which is maybe what some people want. This one is kind of lesser talked about, to be honest with you. The EDP, the Extreme, and the new Parfum overshadow this one by a lot. And that's kind of always been the case. But honestly, don't forget about this one like some of us might have. It's a really good release. And because it's so overshadowed and people just aren't really, chomping at the bit to get this one, it's one of the most affordable flankers you can get from the lineup. It's cheaper than all the other ones I just mentioned, and I think it's kind of somewhere in line with the original Eau de Toilette, which is kind of crazy. A little bit more, but nothing too crazy there. So, it's one that you can get for a great price, and it's also technically niche too, which is pretty remarkable, the fact that you can get a niche fragrance for, I think probably $60, $70. Last up for this video, we have La Nuit de l'Homme. When it comes to having this for the fall and winter time, it's non-negotiable for me. I will always have it. And you're thinking, you're going to need to buy another bottle soon because that little 40 ml is not going to last long. Yes, it is a 40 ml. I've got a 200 ml. I've got a couple 100 milliliter bottles as well of older batches. So I am in no danger of ever running out of La Nuit de l'Homme, but I bought this one just because I thought maybe it would be an older batch. The picture was wrong, and so I ended up with this newer batch, little useless bottle. Don't buy these bottles because the price per milliliter is horrible. It's like really bad. So again, don't do it, but I did. It's got the cardamom and the lavender, and that's really all you need to know. So a little bit of a freshness from the lavender. It's a fresh, spicy scent, right? So freshness from the lavender, a bit of a spicy, sweet kick from the cardamom, which is the star of the show. It is one of the most just unique, rich wearing experiences that you can have from a designer brand for around $70 or so on discounters for a 100 ml 3.3 ounce bottle size. And I don't need to explain anymore because this one's been hyped, a million times by now. But for me, again, it's one I've got to have. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. Some cold weather designer fragrances that I need in my collection. No questions asked. Thank you guys so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.